Pleasant good evening, even if there's no one watching. Pleasant good evening. This show has to start regardless if it's anyone watching. So sometimes you have to do things as if someone is watching. Welcome to the Avril Show. Until some folks get on here tonight, then, it's hot up in here. I don't know why I'm so hot tonight. Daniel Silvera, you are just always so on time to make my night so beautiful. And tonight I'm here, Daniel, just kicking back, and being a nice girl tonight to everyone who tune in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be so nice tonight. You're going to want to know if I am the same Avril that you know, because it pays to be nice. And tonight, I just got to do it this way. It's going to be a short show because I just have to say a few things and then I'm out. I must have a life sometime. I don't know when was the last time I see a fly, and I'm seeing one tonight. Never in my life have I seen a fly, and I'm seeing one tonight. So something is wrong. But anyway, the show has to go on. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's what it says. Just telling you, get ready for the Afro Show. What an introduction. And thank you for everyone who is already tuned in, those who just tune in just to see what wig I'm wearing, what shirt I'm wearing, how I'm looking, because you can't see me on social media. So you say, let me just tune into the show to see what she wearing and how she look and what wig she wearing. I know some people just tune in just for that, but guess what? This show has to go on. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You see, I'm not the type like, Molly Media say, log on, listen to me. I'm not the type who's going to sit here and wait for 50 people to tune in for me to start my show. The show has to start and it has to go on. And whether or not someone is watching, I'm going to do the show because someone's going to see it later. So we're here tonight and I'm going to kick back. We're going to go into a real show tonight where we're going to be talking about real issues because something is wrong with what's going on. And if I don't talk about it, then it don't make sense that I'm here doing this show. So bear with me as I tell you. I'ma leave the door open. These are the people that make it possible. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. That you feel the way I'm feeling. I want you like you want me tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. Look here, you're so sweet, you're so tight, I won't bite, I love you right. Remember, I couldn't have done it without the sponsors that you see here. Best Deal Car Service, McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home in the Bronx. Also, attorney Hugh Campbell, who is just one of my biggest supporter. And I call him, there's so many names we could call him. The community and the whole world needs an attorney like Hugh Campbell, McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home, Teddy Neeson Car Service in the Bronx. Just remember, if you're just tuning in to see my wig or you're just tuning in to see what I'm wearing tonight, it's fine. But the show is going to go on. So spread the word and tell somebody the Avril Show is on. And I'm going to give you something tonight that you could just watch for a minute. And if someone miss it, then I guess it wasn't for them. But this is for who?
Even a question, I just want to publicly acknowledge how a great champion you are for healthcare. Thank you for everything you do. I cannot express enough. Your staff is excellent. We love Matt Fuentes.
Matt Fuentes runs my health thing, and he's brilliant. Anyone who has healthcare issues should call Matt Fuentes. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say publicly, we are the sickest borough, but we will fight hard together to make sure we come out of that number. And I want to say that we can't do it without the federal government. It's too much for me to even begin, but you're our champion, so thank you.
Thank you. I got Montefiore or something like We didn't just get health in hospitals, we got the private hospitals money, they were suffering too.
We have an influx of illegal immigration coming across the country, coming into our country. Now, President Clinton, President Obama, President Trump, and all wanted to do something about the illegal immigration, and yet nothing is done. COVID cases are coming in across the border and shipped to American cities. We're worried about the COVID crisis in this country, yet we allow people coming into this country unvaccinated to come in and infect our cities.
Okay, first, on the COVID issue with the border, but also the whole issue with the border, two things. First, the majority of people coming to the border are coming from just awful conditions. And it comes really from three countries, not Mexico, but Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. And you know, if the gangs which run the places in two of those three countries say, I'm going to shoot your daughter unless you join a gang to the father, they run away. That's a natural thing. Some are entitled to asylum here, but we don't have people at the border to determine who's entitled and who's not. So what we're proposing is two things. First, for the U.S. to actually assist these countries in dealing with the gang violence there so the people won't flee. They don't want to flee, but they have no choice with the gang violence. And that it wouldn't cost that much money and would do a world of good. But the second thing, if at the border we had adequate personnel, so someone shows up at the border, they says, here's why I want asylum. They get adjudicated in a short time. If they're allowed, they go through the process in the United States. If they're not allowed, they're turned back.
Is it a legal thing that we can't scan cars as they're driving to see where these guns are, to stop these people, to stop these guns coming out?
In a better place, it's hard to stop them, because if you were to stop every car and open up its trunk on the George Washington Bridge or the Lincoln Tunnel, you'd have traffic jams going all the way to South Carolina where they buy these guns.
Sure.
But the better way to stop them is at those gun dealers. And the Trump administration stopped it from happening and didn't make them obey the law. We're going to get much more money to the ATF, so they do that, and that's the place to stop.
Senator Jamal Bailey.
Thank you, Mike, my partner in Co-op City, and Mr. Majority Leader, thank you so much for those veteran stations. For those of us who are in or represent or live around Co-op, we know it's going to be a godsend. Transit deserts and economic deserts lead to more poverty, and more poverty leads to what we're talking about, which is this violence. So, Majority Leader, you mentioned about the credible messengers, right, in terms of gun violence. And at the state level last year in the state budget, we declared that gun violence was a public health crisis. And when we start looking at the social determinants of health, we have to start making sure that we look at this gun violence epidemic as a health-related crisis. Yes, it is related to guns. Yes, it is related to poverty. Yes, it is related to a whole host of things, but it is also related to health. Because it's not just physical health, it is also mental health. And health is all-encompassing, and sometimes we don't give it the attention that it needs. We think of health as ER visits, and right now COVID, and surgeries. And we don't think about that there are a number of other things that affect our wellness on a day-to-day basis. It's not enough just to say, hey, put the gun down because you should put the gun down. I think that this is an all-hands-on-deck approach that we're going to need. And it's not just elected officials. It's not just public health officials. It's not just constituents. It's everybody.
Credit would reduce poverty, but cut it in half. We put it in the ARP bill. I didn't mention it. It's now about to expire. We're trying to put it in the BBB bill so it keeps going. And guess which borough would be affected more than any other? The Bronx. Because you have the most poverty. So that's a huge thing. To take half the kids in America out of poverty is dramatic. Another thing we're doing, you mentioned under 5, we've increased SNAP and increased food ability for people. But there's a second thing. There's something called the Momnibus. The Momnibus is for, black and brown women have much higher rate of maternal mortality at birth or in the first year after birth. And that's because of bad health care. The Momnibus would give Medicaid to doulas and midwives, which is a huge thing. It would provide holistic health care and deal with this, which is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And by the way, it's not even related to income. A black woman who has a higher income still has a higher rate of, and a brown woman, Latino, than a white woman who's poorer. So we changed that as well. And one final thing about college students, which I forgot to mention, and this I could use your help in. Senator Warren and I are trying to get the president to cancel student debt.
Gertrude, you hear that?
Good news here. We don't need the Senate or the House to do it.
Carmen
President
Williams?
Biden can do it with the flick of a pen. So we have a huge campaign, and I will get Natalia a sheet. All you have to do is email or call the White House and say, President Biden, please do it. At first he said he wasn't legally allowed to do it. We've gotten him to change his mind on that. We can get this done. Play a real role in it.
Okay, so we hear that. We heard Chuck Schumer spoke just now. Good evening, Bonnie. You're back. Heard you was in sync. It's good evening to you. Gertrude, I know you love education. You're about education. Chuck Schumer just said, it's just easy as calling the White House. So I really and truly are waiting for that day when it's just the tick of a pen and calling the White House. So I definitely going to encourage everybody that if this is going to help you or your children or grandchildren, pay attention to what Chuck Schumer just says, that it was passed, he got it done to wipe out student debt. But we have to get to the bottom of what do he mean by that? See, there are questions to be asked. I played that for you, my listeners, who was not there. Take advantage of whatever is offered. I don't want to hear later your students have debt, because we have to hear more about this, because Chuck Schumer said it's just as simple as putting pen to paper and calling. So I don't know if we're calling to say we stand with him to get it done, or he's saying he got it done. I might have to play that tape one more time. But you see, we are living in a world where everybody's sitting down and depending on politicians for everything. And whether or not I say this and somebody agree, we have to do our own. We have to do our own for ourselves. Politicians can't do it all for us. You understand? I saw an old lady, and all she was begging someone to do was dig snow out of her driveway. And I said, there's no need to beg somebody to dig snow if you could afford to pay somebody to dig your snow. You got to learn to feed somebody. So you're sitting down in your big fancy house, and you got your big fancy house. Nobody said because you have a big fancy house, you're rich. But if you could afford a house in New York City, you know the perks that comes with it. You have to have a snow blower or somebody to dig your snow. So by right, if a man is homeless and you're talking about homelessness, why not try your best to help feed the homeless? And that's by saying, here is the shovel. Shovel the snow, and I will give you some money so you could buy bread and don't have to rob somebody like myself to eat bread. See, we can create wealth in our community for each other. Okay? But we sit here and we take everybody, what should I call it? Everybody have a gift. And if somebody's gift is just to push some snow, there is nothing wrong with you providing a shovel on a snow day for some young man who don't have a job, who could take a shovel and shovel snow and make some money. But you're telling him you have nothing to do. So why you just don't shovel my driveway? See, I have a problem with old folks. The kind of old folks today that says young people are rude and young people have no manners. But look for young people to respect them because they feel I'm an old lady, I'm old. So I have the right to speak to you the way that I want to speak to you. My thing is, if you want to be respected, you have to also give respect to young people. Not because you are the mother, you're somebody's mother. And if you're going to go out and speak to somebody's child the way that I heard, you have nothing to do. These young people have nothing to do. All they do is walk the street. They have nothing to do. And all him have to do is take the shovel and shovel up my snow and find something to do. And all I said, why don't you offer him $20 to shovel your snow? And that will put some food in his pocket. That will give him $20 that he don't have to rob somebody for. You see, we are living in a world today that we have to change it. Only we can do it. We can't expect politicians to change how we think, how we treat each other, and how we pull a gun on each other. Politicians have nothing to do with that other than laws. But if we don't curb what we have at home, and we don't start in our backyard, cleaning up our backyard, we're going to always be talking about what politicians not doing. Okay? It's snowing in New York. You have a house. If you have a house, you know you have to push snow. And if you have to shovel snow and you can't do it, you have to hire somebody. Don't take people kindness for granted and talk about all them young people, they have nothing to do, or standing out there, all you have to do is maybe you need to do something and shovel my snow. And I was rude because I said, and you as an older lady, why don't you give the young man $20 to shovel your snow? He have nothing to do, he don't have a job. Politicians supposed to do everything for everybody. But you sitting down and you're $20, but you would make that man go out and rob somebody for $20 when all you had to do was provide that young man with $20 and see him shovel your snow. Do you know if he had shoveled that snow and you give him $20, it might excite him in such a way, he might have gone and shovel the other neighbor and make another $20. You see, we as a people, especially us as seniors and older folks who've been around and think we know it all, we go around and we treat people like trash. Talk to people how we want. Talk down to them. Quick to tell them about our PhD. When you tell me you have a PhD, it could mean your public health diploma. It could mean anything. Do not come talk to me about position and title and your PhD. Because if you went to school and they forget to teach some of your manners and respect and etiquette, then it don't make sense. Some of you go tell people about the PhD you have because he ain't doing nothing for half for you. So all I'm saying tonight is cut out to be a different show. If you miss what Chuck Schumer say, I will play it again. But I'm saying to you, my people, we're tired of talking. We're tired of hearing the talks. We're tired of people telling us how long we've been in business. You could be in business for 40 years and your business ain't going nowhere but just stagnant. Because it doesn't mean you're doing a good job because you have a business. Maybe you need somebody with business skills and etiquette to teach you how to run your business. Because we love to walk around with this title. And you know what sweet me is the people them now we're going out and feel like if you don't put a title in front of their name, don't call their name, they're not important. Because you got to put a title in front of their name. You got to make them feel big. Otherwise, let me tell you something. We're living in a world that is so confused that all we see is from the news. I just rhyme a little. Give me some credit. We're living in a world that is so confused that all we do is sit down and watch the news. And if we're really paying attention to what's going on around here, we will know politicians alone can't do it. We need to wake up and realize the seniors need to know how to talk to the young people. They're not helping them. All they're doing is talking down to the young people. All they do is walk around and do this. They walk around and do that. And who is educating and lifting our young people? If you're waiting for politicians and school teachers to do it, and 911 to do it, then we all might as well just sit down, roll over, and be dead. Because let me tell you something. If you're not going to train your kids at home, and you don't know how to talk to your children, then don't expect the school are going to do it. The schools are having a hard time because of some of us parents. You see, tonight I'm going to give you a little piece of everything, take off my wig and go in my bed, because I think the most important thing is to tell you about the businesses in the community that helping me to stand. And that's what's important tonight. I'm not going to sit here and run off my mouth and educate people who is not going to listen. But I bet you if somebody come on right now with some skin out video and some video talking about this and that, you all run to watch it. But let Gertrude come on and tell you how to look good and how to dress up yourself. You all don't want to see that because you all want to hear drama and mix up. That's all most of us follow out there on social media. Our children are losing their minds. And if you take a good look at it, it's coming from social media. It's coming from the internet. Whether you believe it or not, that's where it's starting. You all better take back your children. All these gadgets, all these things they're using, the half of you don't know what they're watching and what they're into on there until they lose this. You all have it coming. Because if you all think mental illness is a joke, it's tickling down on us. The grown-ups, the middle class, everybody's coming down with it because we spend too much time watching the wrong things, getting caught up in the wrong things. And we are so busy caught up. Our kids are over there caught up. And the only time we remember the kids exist sometimes is if they have to eat or if they need something. Everybody in their own little world. We are falling apart. We are breaking down. Then we're talking about we need new laws. New laws to do what? We need the laws. But we are the lawmakers right here. If you can stand up in a line for 3 and 4 hours to cast a vote, why don't you stand up in front of lawmakers and demand that we sit down and tell you what laws we need passed? I am sick and tired of the word politics. I don't call people politician. If you're in office, you're an elected official. And those are the people we need. I am sick and tired of it. Every day we sit down talking about politicians need to do this and do that. What you all want them to do? Come in your house? They shot this rapper today. And you know what? Another one wrote on social media, I hope you die. That's what he posted. Another gang says, I hope he's dead. On social media, nobody cares anymore. No respect. And you're sitting and walking the street and you're talking about politicians need to change laws. Why don't you change your laws in your house first? Some of you living with the same killers, the same criminals coming out of houses. Half of them ain't live on their own. But you are sitting down telling politicians what they need to do. And your house is a mess. Your family life is a mess. Your mental state is a mess. Social media have you wrapped up in a mess. But politicians need to bring more laws. We're going to talk about things. Book sense without common sense. Speak nonsense. Thank you, Carmen Williams, for adding that up for me. Okay? I need people like you to hear it from, because I don't know everything. Jasmine Vaughn, thank you for tuning in. Janice Martin, how you doing, sweetie? It's just so sad what's going on. It's sad because every day we sit down and I see some of these politicians, the so-called, I call those politicians, the ones that just like when the camera is on. Hold on. Whew. Let me touch on this now. You ever see some of these politicians, you don't see them, you don't hear from them, they're out there doing nothing. Community falling apart. But as soon as they had the big Bronx fire, they're going to push down the ones that are doing to be in front of the camera. Because that's the time you see them, so you remember they exist. Jesus take the wheel. That's right, Gertrude. So that's the opportunity for the photo-ops. When you see a tragedy occur, they're out in numbers. Even if you don't call them, they come to say, they come to support. And after that, they tell you how many things they're doing in Albany. We don't want to hear what they're doing in Albany. We want to see what's getting done. You see, you talk to some of them, I'm in Albany. They like the word Albany, make them feel big, empowered that they're in Albany. But in reality, I am going to put up a collage of the working elected officials. The politicians, we're going to leave them on the side. But it's our fault because we are the one that vote. Your power is in your vote. The next time they need you to vote for them, that's when you show them where your power comes from. You see, you got to make sure that you put leaders in there who is going to lead. Vanessa Gibson, our elected Bronx Borough president, and Eric Adams, our mayor. As soon as they went in office, 1 week you hear some people complaining. Sandra Parbon, how you doing, sweetheart? I'm behaving myself. The 1 week they spend in office, they start telling you what the Bronx Borough president ain't doing. And she just went in office 1 week. Eric Adams went in office. 1 week, the man out there running around, fire here, killing here. They didn't even get a time to be sworn in completely. They run into violence and child get shot and this and fire. And everybody out there, they ain't doing enough. And they just got in office. It seems like some of you want the politician them come in your all house, raise your kids. Chuck Schumer said they increase food stamp. Oh Lord, I have to talk about that one. Hold on. This thing about increasing food stamp. Denise Charles, how are you, sweetie? Sandra Parbon, pray for me, sweetheart, because when you see I come on here by myself in certain wigs, I come to talk. Everywhere around the world have crime. Everywhere. St. Kitts have crime. Nevis have crime, Antigua have crime, Jamaica have crime, America have crime. Every place have crime. Some have it less than some. But every time you hear them, oh, the politicians got to get rid of the crime. Where in this world a politician could get rid of crime if you don't get rid of those who committing the crime? Now, every time them shot somebody, you shot a child. I hear them. He is a third-time offender. This is his third time. Now, this somebody will kill somebody. You gonna tell me outside I walk the street? You talk to some of these police, and guess what? They are tired of arresting the same criminals. So who do you blame? But every time you turn around, what you say, Carmen, I need a fan? Carmen, you're making me lose my thought, Carmen. The light in here, me have to just turn it down a little just now, because the light was so hot. Make me feel like me have a hot flash. And I don't want if a man out there looking at me say, we are having hot flash, but ain't nothing than a woman, better than a woman who having hot flash. We're going to talk about that. But let me go back to what I was saying, right? You trying to tell me that you have criminals walking the street who is third-time criminals? There's better name for it. But you sit down here and tell me you can feel good that when the police go make an arrest, they say they know him, they arrested him before, he served time before. So you try to tell me you kill somebody and you're out on the street to kill somebody again? The question is, we need to stop talking about guns control and start making these people accountable. You know, the other day, me nearly get hot flash when they said they're going to let out the criminals them. And they need to free them up. During the pandemic, they say free up the criminals. Lord have mercy. I started wearing wigs and 2 masks. I don't want nobody recognize me because you're trying to tell me we out here in a world suffering as we are, and you say free up the criminals because of the pandemic and they were dying in prison. I say give them what they need in there so that they can survive and live decent where they are. Everybody lives someplace. If your home is in prison, somebody else's home is in heaven. Somebody else's home is in the hospital. But we all live someplace. But you can't sit down and say, free up the criminals then. So you're bringing out a criminal because of a pandemic? You know, one time people used to tell me I need to run for office, but I don't want to run for politics. So I like what I do. Because if God come and bless me with this, you're going to hate me for this because I'm going to use it. You try to tell me that nobody see that there is a problem, crisis going around here. That the same people them that is murdering the children is criminals who been freed and put out, some being put out on bail. Criminals, put out on bail and kill again before the time to even appear in court. Tell me where the system no gone wrong. You see, I'm asking everybody tonight, if they kill a dog, yes, Gertrude, I see people kill animals. And they fight and say, you have to sentence them because they kill animals. Or you kill and you're out on the street, that you could kill somebody, innocent child. Something wrong with the system, man. Don't tell me about politicians right now. I am telling each and every one of you, if I call a town hall meeting right here on this show, I want everybody who will sign up to say, yes, I will sit on the show at your town hall meeting. I am having one. And Teresa Brown, you need to be on it. So just sign and say, I would like to be on your town hall meeting, because we are going to have our town hall meeting right here on the Avril Show coming up the last Monday in February. Okay? It's my town hall meeting. So if you want to be a part of this town hall meeting that I'm having, just let me know on this post that you would like to be a part of sitting on this show, having my discussion with me, and this will be our town hall meeting. We got to take it back. Can't do it all for politicians. We got to take it back. Our vote speak volumes. Now, Sandra, you was here. And when I listened to this, Chuck Schumer say he has. And the thing about getting rid of student debt, that was sweet. The other party talk about is the increase in food stamp. Why? When you talk about increasing food stamp, who is telling the people them that use the food stamp how to shop responsible? I'm going to say responsible. With all the food stamps, some of them I get out there. You know they could afford to eat better. And then again, what are they putting in the stores for us in our community? That's coming up. So if you want to be a part of my town hall, which is the last Monday in February, just write it there. We're going to be talking about these issues. So the topic, you will get it. But if you want to be a part of it, just let me know. And I will definitely send you the information to join me here on the Avril Show. We got to take it back. Me tired of every time I turn on, they blaming politician, but the criminal them walk in the street, killing again 2 and 3 times. And nobody talking about that. We just watch things, talk for a minute, and go back to Facebook. Go fast in a people business. Go fast in a Avril business. What wig she was wearing. She was so hot, look like she was having hot flash, all them things. But if you all don't know, there's a new study. It didn't come out yet. It says hot flash women. The word hot flash. Think about that. You all better get it together. You're all wasting your all time, hot flashers. You all need to watch the men in the face and say, I'm a hot flasher. But anyway, everything we blame politicians. Another thing I want to share with you all tonight. Give BP a chance. That's right. They sit down, Sandra, as the Bauer president went in, our elected official, Vanessa Gibson, and our mayor, Eric Adams. 1 week. Some of them all on social media. What are they doing? They ain't doing enough. Okay, they've been in office before in different position. They're in bigger position now. Give them time to put their things together. They ain't even put their cabinet together yet. But they ain't doing enough. What are you doing in your community to make a difference? You see, you have to sit down and everybody got to feed us. It's time to feed yourself. And to the old lady today who told me I was out of place because me tell a pay the man $20 because he's homeless. You want to take him and use him to dig up your snow. You know the homeless man, if me clean him up and let him cut him hair and shave up him face and put on a little chain on him neck and, and he go outside and he win the 6 numbers in the New York Lotto. And him just dress up himself right. You know what you don't even know it's a homeless man. When he come approach many of you all must stop take people for granted. If you all want to see a change in your community, feed the hungry. It means if you see a man and instead of just casting words on him, just kindly do one thing. Ask him to wash your car. Give him $20. Do you know you stop the man from robbing the next old person to get $20? But you all don't know how to feed each other. You all know how to use one another. Okay? He could have been Jesus on the side of the road. What do you mean? You wouldn't want him, Gertrude? But anyway, like I was saying, I think it's time that we take back our communities. And it's time we work together. But one thing that making it hard is we as a people. Everybody is crab in a barrel. Everybody trying to outdo each other. You see, if me do this show now, somebody realize me I do this show, somebody else come do a show just like it. If me wear pink wig, they wear pink wig tomorrow. Everybody watch what everybody do. Nobody have a craft of their own. Nobody come up with something that make me want to watch them because they're doing something different that I can learn from. Everybody doing the same thing. If Sandra Parbon go give out food tomorrow, say she giving out food tomorrow, somebody else go give out food. And they're going to do it. If she said 12 o'clock, they're going to make sure they come out at 11 to give food at 11. A competition and crab in a barrel world we live in. That's why the politicians them look upon us like a bunch of fools. Because if we don't have no respect for each other, how you all want other people to respect? You know what you're going to say? Well, that's what we vote for them for. You didn't have to vote. You cast your vote. And if you vote for them, it's because you think they could do the job. But help them do the job. You all just sit down and want everything easy. Some people no work. And if the food stamp no go on the card, the day it's supposed to go on, you better watch out. And it's free. Free food stamp. But let them put the card up on the food stamp no on it. Then blow up New York over some food stamp. I tell you, our people mindset have to change for change to come. We are living in a wicked world. Me see young man a run down the street with guns. Well, if them young man there could run down the street with guns in their hand, shooting anywhere, tell me where they live. Because if they live in a house with a mother, you have to know something not right. When you hear 14-year-old a shoot and in a gang, when they come home to sleep, what kind of conversation, what kind of body language, what kind of behavior they have home? Some of we parents, we're afraid of we kids. Some of we parents are the kids, and the kids in the home is the parents. And some of you don't want to hear it. I don't know why me come on here tonight, come sweat under this hot light that I had to turn down just now. You understand? And make people think me I go through menopause, but I don't care. I want them to think me I go through menopause. That means your body hot. You understand? But we need to get off of social media sometime and go to our children room. And if you can't walk in your children room, when they're not there, a mother told me she have to wait for her son to come home to go in the room. The boy 12. The day me have to ask my son to go in his room, a 12-year-old. Me can't go in the room because he lock up in room. Then I will tell him where the agency is for renting apartment. Some of your parents is just causing your children to do the things that they do. I don't know why I hot so tonight. Somebody need to hear me say, I don't know why I hot, my body hot. But let me tell you what I'm here to talk about tonight. Is we changing what we need to get changed and stop make politicians feel that we need them to change everything for us. Take back your life. Come off of social media sometime. Pop up on your kids' name. You ever walk up on your children and they close their laptop, they close their phone. I see these things. I'm a mother. I talk to mothers. I'm a mother. And you say, but why you have to close it? If it's something good, you should be able to share it with your mother. You see some of these games that you buy for all your children. You ever see some children that play game and all you hear is pop, 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 pop. Them shooting and they ain't missing nothing. They're going to get older where they're going to want to try one of the real guns. Because now these games, they're outdated. And then they give them the water gun and you see them shoot off of people and you see them aim and they feel like they're pro. They're going to soon want the real one. We determine what our kids get for Christmas. But if you feel you want to buy your kid a gun, go right ahead. Then send them to school and say the teachers are not training our kids right. You all want teachers, doctors, as the kids misbehave, I'm going to call the police for you. Why you scare your children about police? Children ain't supposed to scare the police. So why when your child misbehave, you going to go sit down and tell your child, if he not behave, you call police for him. But if you can't control your picnic, then it's all right, the police just come and lock up your picnic and go with them. What you call police to raise your kids for? Let me go into this one here now. You notice a mother called police the other day in Harlem. You notice the other day police called to her home. And may God help us. The police not make it back out of somebody's house. But you all want to sit down and tell me that you all hate the police. But when you all have your all children out of control, some of the man them too and woman out of control too, then you all run and call 911. Police got to run into your house with full of guns and lose their life. And then you all sit down and say, well, they died doing what they was called to do. What they was called to do. They came there to do what they called to do and to be peacemakers, to come and protect us and serve. What make you think they come to lose their life? But if you go on your job and you're a nurse and you lose your job, your life there, them say you're not supposed to lose your life there. Well, you know, a mental patient in the hospital who could murder some nurse. Why is it police have to die to protect us, but we have no respect for them? And as soon as police kill one of us, you see one attorney, him come on TV, only he alone look like he could represent police brutality. I won't even call his name because I won't promote him. Can't even talk no more. But because they win 1 and 2 case, they fool off our community. Oh, if you are a victim of police brutality, call me. Are you alone could solve police case? And you know the sweet part that bothers me? What you all people don't realize. You see some of these cases where these big attorneys where you all make look like them a solve case I do. They ain't solving no case, you know, the case already been solved. If you look at the case where they step on what's his name neck, and you feel the case was won, you think it was the lawyer alone that why the case was won? Black, white, Hispanic, everybody come together why the case was won. Curtis Cook, how you doing, Curtis in St. Kitts? Let me tell you something. No lawyer alone win no case. They need jurors. They need evidence. They need proof. But I bet you I'm going to drop something and I don't care who hate me. Our people are so easily fooled, right? You have a fire here in the Bronx. 17 people lose their life. You know, up to now, I don't hear much people go around and I say, what's going on with those who was left clinging to their life? When I hear no up-to-date story, nobody worry about them. All they're talking about is GoFundMe. Now, Eric Adams came on, our mayor, and he says they're going to take care of the bodies. You have big celebrities come forward and say they're going to pay to bury the bodies. Now, I mean, I tell nobody nothing, and I'm not against nobody GoFundMe, you know. But GoFundMe should be used as a time for GoFundMe. Who hate me tonight could talk about me hot flash. Because you see when me I go to my hot flash, I then me talk. You gonna come tell me you have so many people around the world. In less than 1 week, so much money was raised for the victim's funeral. Now let me get this straight. The dead, we cannot bring back. Remember that. But the dead must be buried. I am sympathizing tonight. 17 people are supposed to lose their life the way they lost their life. Remember that. It's not a strange place for me. It's a place that I go often. I know the building inside out. I know the place. I'm saying to you, if you tell me that Eric Adams, the government say we're going to bury the victims, the dead, what happened to them that was rushed to the hospital and clinging to their life? How come we the people are not asking more about them? Or what can we do? How they doing? How the family coping? You know, praying for them. Y'all keep going out to pray for gun violence. How many people show me? We go to the vigil for them that lost their life. But I keep looking to hear what happened to those that survived, but was in the hospital, clinging to life. You see, we don't have priorities straight. So now you come with your GoFundMe again, and I say, how much more GoFundMe we gonna GoFundMe? Especially if the people buried, and some was thinking about the family going home back to Africa. That's fine. But I know they're gonna be okay. You have celebrities come, and if they were looking for the spotlight, fine, but they say that they come to help to take care of the 17 deceased, right? My concern now is those that left behind. Now I'm saying to you as a people, if I open my mouth and talk, you all will curse me out. But when the promisers them talk, you all listen to them. A celebrity come in town right now and have a show, you all would never watch this. But when them celebrity don't make the money and gone, they don't hear you, they don't know you. You know, one night I look at one celebrity put up, God is good. They had about maybe nearly 2,000 people. I love you. That's why God is good. Like. And them a commented. Not one time the celebrity come back and like what they wrote or thank them. They're doing these things. They see how much people are following them, and they're glad to see they have the big following, especially when they want to drop the CD on us. We follow celebrities, but we don't support the little Avril. But when some of you need help, you can't call a celebrity to help you. And I sure if I call our Bronx Board president tonight and said, such and such is the case, or there's an emergency, she's going to run. But you call the big celebrity where you run on Facebook every day and see if they come to help you. You understand? 17 lives died here in the Bronx. And I don't care if they're African or where they come from. We need to start to come together as a people. But we need to utilize ourselves much better. All this GoFundMe as people did. They think that is a sorrowful moment. And I'm not talking about the 17 people now. I'm talking about, literally speaking, GoFundMes. And I'm talking about politicians, not elected officials. Those are different. Those are people who are doing the work. Politicians are them that we vote in and then we regret it 2 weeks later or a month later because we realize what they're all about. In no time you could pick them up. But guess what? Some of you ain't going to get the chance that you get with me, you know, because some of you have outdated yourself. You hear my big word, like I went to Monroe with Vinette Cobalt, right? Some of you are outdated. And when I say outdated, you outplayed yourself with me. And you see, from you show me your true colors, you're done. You understand? Me not put some of you in office to be show and tell. Because if you want to show me every day your big ham, and as me talk about ham, you see Thanksgiving, me no want no more turkey. I want, if you're going to give me something, give me a ham. And first thing people will say, where do I eat ham? Then ask me what I would like. It's time to ask what I would like. Now give me no turkey. Okay, because half of we don't eat the turkey them. Some of you got the turkey them and now you deep freeze for all 1 year, but are you greedy? And as Chuck Schumer say, give you the food stamp, they increase the food stamp. Half of you could afford to buy 10 turkey. I still stand up in a long line for a free turkey. Politicians, I'm going to have to talk to you guys about how you do things in the community. Give the people what they need, not what you think they want. Because some of them are overdo it. If you see they get a turkey up north and they hear turkey down south, some of them gone. And the food stamp can't run over. And working people can't afford to have a cart half full. You ever look at a working person cart in the supermarket and you know that's a hard working person? They're looking at the price. Everything they watch the price. But you see when it's food stamp, them just dash it in the cart like, look, and then tomorrow they're in the line for free food. How much food are you want? So unless I post them somewhere. And nothing wrong. If you got it and you got to help somebody. But the selfishness have to stop. Paula, Morrison, Vinette, sorry. I'm just a little hot flash take me tonight. And you see when that thing happened, I have to just let out the steam. You understand? Joycelyn Bramble, how you doing, sweetheart? You owe me a return call. I have so much things I could talk about, but I had to burn a fire tonight on politicians, but not elected officials. So I say, you all don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Don't go tomorrow and say, I will cursing politicians. There's a difference between politicians and elected officials. Okay? And the politicians, we just have to get rid of them. Make sure that they're not in our communities. We need working, dedicated, elected leaders. Those who are leaders into tomorrow. Those who are paving the way by making sure things are done right. Not one come out, one go in, and the same thing continue. And 4 years later, we look back and say, where are we today? Not a Black History Month. Another this. And what are we celebrating? Every time we celebrating Martin Luther King, I want to cry for Martin all over again. You mean the man died and fight so hard. And we ain't showing how we just continue his legacy. Let me tell you something. If you have a good elected officials and a good leader, stand by them, pray for them, encourage them, stand by them. They need you. They need you. Sometimes they need that little push and encouragement. But you know what we do? We spend so much time across politicians that sometimes they probably go home at night and lay down and say, why did I take this job? But it's a job and somebody have to do it. But you cannot sit down and curse the elected official that you're asking to make a change for you. Stand with them. Be that change. But you're sitting down cursing them out day in, day out. But you're looking for change. So as we get ready to celebrate Black History Month, my Black people, be that change for the change that you're asking for. Gun violence, it can change. Did you hear what Chuck Schumer said? Maybe if you came on late, I need to bring it back because it need to be told.
I just want to publicly acknowledge how a great champion you are for healthcare. Thank you for everything you do. I cannot express enough. Your staff is excellent. We love Matt Fuentes.
Matt Fuentes runs my health thing, and he's brilliant. Anyone who has healthcare issues should call Matt Fuentes. Yeah.
Lillian.
I wanted to say publicly, we are the sickest borough, but we will fight
Represented
hard
Montefiore.
to make sure we come out of that number. And I want to say that we can't do it without the federal government. It's too much for me to even begin, but you're our champion, so thank you.
Thank you. I got Montefiore or something like, we didn't just get health and hospitals, we got the private hospitals money, they were suffering too.
We have an influx of illegal immigration coming across the country, coming into our country. Now, President Clinton, President Obama, President Trump, and all wanted to do something about the illegal immigration, and yet nothing is done. COVID cases are coming in across the border and shipped to American cities. We're worried about the COVID crisis in this country, yet we allow people coming into this country unvaccinated to come in and infect our cities.
Okay, first, on the COVID issue with the border, but also the whole issue with the border, two things. First, the majority of people coming to the border are coming from these awful conditions. And it comes really from three countries, not Mexico, but Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. And you know, if the gangs which run the places in two of those three countries say, I'm going to shoot your daughter unless you join a gang to the father, they run away. That's a natural thing. Some are entitled to asylum here, but we don't have people at the border to determine who's entitled and who's not. So what we're proposing is two things. First, for the U.S. to actually assist these countries in dealing with the gang violence there so the people won't flee. They don't want to flee, but they have no choice with the gang violence. And that it wouldn't cost that much money and would do a world of good. But the second thing, if at the border we had adequate personnel, so someone shows up at the border, they says, here's why I want asylum. They get adjudicated in a short time. If they're allowed, they go through the process in the United States. If they're not allowed, they're turned back.
Is it a legal thing that we can't scan cars as they're driving to see where these guns are, to stop these people, to stop these guns coming out?
In that place, it's hard to stop them, because if you were to stop every car and open up its trunk on the George Washington Bridge or the Lincoln Tunnel, you'd have traffic jams going all the way to South Carolina where they buy these guns.
Sure.
But the better way to stop them is at those gun dealers. And the Trump administration stopped it from happening and didn't make them obey the law. We're going to get much more money to the ATF, so they do that. And that's the place to stop.
Do you hear that? Chuck Schumer have the answers. Chuck Schumer have the answers. He told you how it can be done. He told you how the guns can stop. See, I did a show with this, Joe and Hugh Campbell. We did a show about the guns and what need to be done. Nobody took it serious. It come out of the mouth of Chuck Schumer. The guns. He just said it. So people, what I'm saying to you, things can get done. but we got to come together. But we're living in a community where everybody's fighting to have this thing about me, me, me. I did this and I did that. No man is an island. No man can do it by themselves. But if we don't work together in our community, we will never get nothing done other than separation and breaking down. We're breaking down our community more and more because we're fighting for power, fighting for power. Everybody want to say me. It's me. I'm this and I'm that. Gianna, how you doing? Empress, how you doing? You understand what I'm saying? So people, as we go into Black History Month tomorrow, please let's not do it with no more regrets. Let's help make a change. Help the politicians that you say you want to represent you. Oh, I forget. Help the politicians so they could get better. But our elected officials that I'm speaking about, that is moving and shaking and trying to put things in place and get things done. My God, work with them. But most of you are working with yourself. You got to look like you're doing something important. And half of you, as I said before, as you all help the politician give out a couple bag of a potato and a couple bag of carrots, and people see you in the picture doing this and doing that, half of you up to no good. The same politician them are going to fight later to say are you running against them. That's why some of them can't trust half of your community people, because that's how you come around them and find out how they do little thing and think, you know the law now and know how to get things done. All of a sudden, I'm running for office. You get blown away sometime when you see their face and you want to know where they're going. Everybody think they could just run for office, but they can't go in Albany and speak. They cannot stand up for you. They can't fight for healthcare. They can't do nothing, but they all want to tell you they're running for office. Let me tell you something. Our vote matters. Take your vote back and tell them we're not fools anymore. So if you want to join my round table Black History Month talk the last Monday in February, just shoot me and let me know. Avril, I would like to be a part of my town hall. I'm going to call that my town hall because it's time that we as a people come together and do much better. We do too much talk. Everybody want to have something. Everybody want to have. It's called show and tell. You ain't doing a thing for nobody other than showing and telling with some picture to say, I do this and I do that. I'm going to start putting up more picture on Facebook now because that might make somebody think that I'm running for office. You understand? Because let me tell you something. God bless me with this. I'm going to use this. He ain't blessed me to be in Albany. Because I don't know the first thing about passing laws and all these things. And even if I could study it, I don't need to study nothing more. I'm getting too old, soon to retire from doing this. So all I'm saying to you, feed me so I can feed you. But do not break me down and then call me and tell me you need my service. And if you're out there and you want to cry and look at the homeless people, cast judgment upon them, ask them to shovel your snow. And stop using these people to shovel your snow. They may be homeless, but they're somebody's child. Just give them a little $20 and you will stop them from robbing somebody for $20. We can help one another. We can lift each other. But we like to use each other and wonder why the world is in a chaos. We ain't gonna get no better. Because we are a bunch of crab in a barrel, especially the communities we're living in now. Community leaders, where are they? They are too old now. They retire. And those that coming up now, it's all about show and tell. It got to be me. And they have this thing like they want to outdo each other. If they come together, we will be a force to reckon with. And I pray that as we step into Black History Month, I will see a change in our community and stop blaming politicians and stop blaming elected officials for what we need. Start taking care of your home. Half of your house full of guns. And now you know about it. And when you all can't win your children over, then you all call police. Look at a police officer have to walk into somebody's house to lose his life. He has a family too. And some of you took it for granted. Oh, he's a police officer. That's what they do. They didn't join. You can die on any job. Whether you're a nurse, you're a cleaning person, it doesn't matter what you do. You could lose your life. Don't take an officer for granted when they're dead. That's how it's supposed to be. Carelessly. Can you call somebody to your house to take care of your problem? Why you didn't call your uncle? Why we don't call we uncle, we brother, we sister, or we best friends? When the man start to boof us up and boof us up, why we don't call we best friend? We call 911. But we don't have no respect for them. You understand? Respect people in authority. Respect them. And they will respect us. Now the other police, then we're going around and fear for their life. You think they're not fear for their life too because they're police? Those officers that lose their life, they had guns. But they trust and behold that they're going in to do something good. Not thinking somebody gonna call me in with his guns. Parents, it is sad. But we the parents are becoming the children now in our home. And I'm speaking as a point as a mother. Miss one mother, they say my head no good. And if you ask my son, he will tell you, oh, my mom, oh my God. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be. I was afraid to have my first boyfriend. Because every minute me I watch, if my mother watch me, if me go talk to him and I come in, I look so guilty. Because I know my mother don't play. We walk straight. And as they say, walk good. But now the children, them don't care. Because we make them feel that as they reach, you notice children one time used to wear their hair with we put in the little ribbons and we pretty up the hair. No, children, they want to go beauty parlor with the mother. We got to take our homes back and stop letting ACS, police, and everybody control our household. When we do that, children, we go to school, go learn. Teachers not supposed to babysit our kids. Children then go to school, them tired, them asleep. Because we send them to bed at night with gadgets. Listen to me. Listen to me. I could stay here all night and talk. But you see the little leftover cornmeal porridge with me have from this morning? I am going to put some fire under that right now. And all that food that I cooked yesterday and have left over, me not even want it. Because ain't nothing better than some cornmeal porridge. And you eat that and you knock out like a newborn baby. So you think I'm going to sit here and talk all night while somebody back there say, she not tired bonfire. Our wig that she have on now, she crazy, she mad. You could hear them right now. You understand? But I know speaking sense to some of you. And your worst thing is when you tell the truth, them not like you now. Anytime you start to open your mouth and talk truth, them can't stand you. Because you're supposed to be a hypocrite with them, break down people with them. And as soon as you tell them what you're doing is wrong, you're not a friend no more. But me have my mad friend them and me gonna stick with them. And when they're mad, me get mad and all of we mad and we understand each other. You understand? So walk in your lane, my people. Take back your homes. Take back what belongs to you. And be that mother in your house and tell your children, if you want to be the man, you ask them to find the next apartment that's available. Not live with them and they control you. You know, we parents suffering today. You know, back in the days, our parents have kids and they used to happy and say, boy, when me get old, me know somebody will wash me back and do the children them now. As they reach 17 here, them, me can't wait to move out of she house. My mother miserable, my mother this, then ready to go. And some of them that stick around now because they love us, you know. And because some children use their mother just like man use we. Because you hear some parents out there, oh, man them not good, the man them a dog. Check your own kids. Some of them are use we until they can't use we no more. And the minute they find somebody to help them gone. And try call them and tell them you have a headache. They say, Mom, me not there. In the Dominican Republic, you didn't even know they gone to the Dominican Republic with a little boyfriend. You don't have no time for you. So when your children them grow old enough to be responsible, let them fly and live your life. And if they're good enough to stay home and help you, let them stay until they're ready to go because they respect you. But when there's no respect, let them fly. Live your life. You don't live where you breastfeed them, give them milk, feed them, send them to school. They grow and they go up for themselves. Let them fly. Take back your life. You deserve a chance to live now. On behalf of the Avril Show, I'm going to tell you, every week I come with something. And we as mothers, we need to stick together, support one another, talk to each other, help each other. But some parents afraid to tell another parents what they got to, because some of these parents come on social media and make it look like their life so good, them children so good, their house so good. And when you hear them children, them gone mad and bang them up, you say, but all the time she post up she daughter and she son, me thought it was a good family now. They like to impress. Social media can destroy half of it. It better you be honest and be mad just like me. Let the world know when you're crying. Cry out to somebody, but don't let depression take the best of you. If you're going through something, call me. Just call up my number. May rather sit down and talk with you than you crying alone. It's good to have a shoulder to cry on. It releases the stress. It's when you hold it all inside, something gonna explode one day. Don't let it explode with you. Open up. You must have somebody you can talk to. And if you have 10 friends and you're going through something and you don't know which one you can call to talk to, you don't have 10 friends. Vinette, me can't answer your call because you call them a mad call. You understand? When you go through your thing, you don't lock yourself away. And Empress, you know that. When she go through she think Vinette lock herself away, she don't want to talk to nobody. She want to deal with her burden by herself. Sometimes me just want to take her until she have natural hair, just ring it. You're going through something and you're going to sit down and say, me just don't want to bother you coming you deal with it with a lot. What am I dealing with? If you call and I can't deal with it, I'll tell you. But don't test me faith and tell me you don't call me because you thought I'm dealing with enough. If me even have 10 people dead me come on social media same way. My grandmother did me on social media, me eat same way. You have to live. Log on, Muggy. Music man, Molly boy. And that me tell them earlier before you come on. Me say even if 2 people log on, like Molly say, this show gonna be done. Molly man, music man. Him no win Calypso show. But he say he's the king. And that's how you're supposed to live your life. No matter what people say about you, live your life. Stop living for politicians to make your life better. Politicians was put in position, elected officials were put in position to pass laws and to do things to help us. We got to help ourselves. Remember, tomorrow is the first day of this Black History. And I bet you if you look back at this tomorrow date last year, some of you were doing the same thing, nothing changed. What have we established, accomplished in 2021 that we could celebrate Black History Month tomorrow as Black people with a different mentality and a different attitude? You know what we did? What I discovered? More gunshot, more killings, more fires, more crab in a barrel among each other. That is what's going on. If you all think we come a long way, you all ain't really looking at what's going on. I rather the old way when I was in St. Kitts and had 1 pair of shoes. You see now that everybody got to compete with each other. You all don't know how complicated life is. We are going backwards in the civil rights movements. Surely, Tripico, you said it. We are going backwards. When we was growing up, we had one pair of shoes and nobody sharper than we when we step out. Especially me. Me used to put grease, white Vaseline on my shoes, shine it up. That when I get home, pure dirt on my shoes. Because guess what? The dirt stick on the Vaseline, but I want my shoes shine. Because people think no, I brand new shoes. It was the same. And you know, they used to tell you, this shoes is for church, this shoes is for school, and we make do. You know what they're going to say? Avril, that was back then. Things and time change. If we go back a little for a minute and re-examine ourselves individually, things can change. But we let our children again control our household, and we wonder why they are the way they are. If somehow we just say no for a minute to our children, you'd be surprised to know they tell you how much they hate you. But as soon as they hear, yes, 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 I love you, Mom, and you feel excited that your kids love you because you're a yes, Mom, or a yes, Dad. Take back your household. Stop playing with them. Because when children out there shoot guns in a street and you gone to the parents' house go arrest them, then how you not see that your children have gone? Everybody in their own world. The kids in the room, you in your room, they come and go when they want. They don't bother with them. They're 16, they're old, they're grown. And when the police knock on your door, then they come out and you see News 12 and all of them, give them camera, hear them. My son was a good kid. He was a good kid. Meanwhile, 1 week later, you see the reporter tell you, he been in prison before and him killed before. No mother ever say the child is a bad kid. It's a shame. But the day one of my family member or kids they go shoot anybody. And it's not self-defense. And self-defense, they have to box and do all that. Because no child of mine should be walking around with gun. But if you tell me that your child gonna tell you he shoot 3 people and he don't miss one, he really know what he was doing. Look at Jacobi Hospital. A young man go in a hospital, go shoot in a hospital. Suppose one of you that watching me or myself was sitting in that emergency room and one of those bullets had hit you. And today we are mourning your loss because you was in the right place just at the wrong time. That family now would have come and tell you, I'm so sorry. My son was a good son. And then when they go in front of the judge, they say, Your Honor, if you could just give him a chance, I know he will do better. Well, what about all the chance he had before that happened? If you use the gun, you should serve the time for it. And as I hear Joe say, if it's 7 bullets, every bullet, you should multiply it. I cannot imagine somebody knocking on a mother's door and say, we just want to let you know, your son was just killed. I cannot imagine what a mother feel like, especially just send your son to school or send them out to get something and you get that knock on your door. And you must sit down and hear the mother of the person that killed your child telling you, he was a good kid. He just made a wrong decision. It was only when he pulled that trigger, you know about that child. But that child have been pulling many triggers before. I am not going to sit here anymore and tell you, I'm not worried when my sons walk through the door. Because I can't take that knock of hearing a police telling you, I'm sorry. Sorry about what? Sorry about what? I sit with my family in Brooklyn watching the trial of my family member who was murdered in Harlem, sitting on his step, 4th of July weekend, a bullet that wasn't meant for him. And the young man stand up in the courtroom. And when you hear the reason he do it, you feel sorry for him. But you cannot bring back my family. He's gone. And I must just hear you say, I'm sorry. And that was supposed to bring peace. People, we have some work to do. Join me the last Monday in February for my town hall discussion here on the Avro Show. You have people like Vinette, people Monroe, big workers them, who talk to students every day, supposed to be able to sit on this show and join this town table. She's not shy. The friends, I don't understand what's so shy about them. You're sitting in your house. I'm making you comfortable. You understand? So join me the last Monday. Let's have some radical praise up in here. We're going to have our first Avro Show town hall discussion right here on this show. So if you can be a part of this, just send me a message and say I'm willing to join your town hall discussion. Let's talk. We have to have conversations. Let's take back our community and let's be each other's keeper. So parents, mothers, if you're out there, start asking your children questions. Because if you don't know that they have a gun in the house, it could go off by accident and you could be the one that take the bullet. Imagine that. What would you say? Oh, you won't be able to say anything because you'll be gone by the bullet of your own child. So don't sit down and play naive. No person should be released from custody who was picked up with a gun. Once you carry a gun, then you're prepared to commit a crime. My God, Shirley, powerful. Powerful. What about going back to the days where you just take your hand and prove who is a man? Just box the man down. That's what we say, box them down. But in other words, somebody else will say, lick them down. But anyhow you say it, man, be a man. You go into the gym. You're drinking all kind of steroids. So what you need a gun for? Listen, my people. It has to come to the end of my night. Can me tell you, me make some cornmeal porridge this morning. The thing turn up. Me put some nutmeg and some cinnamon and the home essence we came from Sinkits. Me say the thing tastes so good, but I'm a hand heavy, so I make too much. You see, when I done here, I'm gonna put some fire under that. And I remember growing up, you know, when you want your child go to sleep, you give them some cornmeal porridge. And that is still doing it to me. When I don't drink that, I don't just gone. You understand? A few minutes ago, I was so hot. Now, I'm not. I wonder if that's hot flash. Cheryl, do it. Looking forward to hearing the conversation. Have a blessed night, Cheryl. Thank you for being one of my avid listeners and followers. And you will be receiving an email from me sooner than later. But I thank you. So I just got to voice myself like this because I'm telling you, Cheryl, if we don't take back our communities and put the right people in position, we're going to always live with those people who just live in their life for spotlight and fame. And they ain't doing nothing in our community. They like spotlight. As long as they're on a politician or television, they want to be seen. But ask them what they have done to make a difference in the community. So I will send you an email, Cheryl. Definitely, you deserve my email. And Vinette, be nice to me and stop your nonsense talking about, I don't want to call because I don't want to bother you. If you can't bother your friend when you're going through a situation, they're not your friend. No matter what I'm going through, or my friend called me, I'm going to answer. And if we got to cry together, I'm going to let you know, girl, I'm going through the same thing. And that's when we're supposed to cry with each other. That's the way friends supposed to do it. But if we're sitting down playing cute, you know how much time Shirley Tripico call me? I cry over she dog. I'm not talking her business. Shirley they call me and Shirley they be crying because she miss her dog. And you ain't gonna call me because you're going through something? Then I'm not your friend. Okay? So I'm telling you, people, learn to know who your friends are. Well, it's coming to the end of the night, and I'm going to drop this again before I go, because we have to make sure that the people that we call friends are there for us in time of need. I don't know what more to say to my people, but guns are taking our lives. Husband killing wife, wife killing husband, children killing parents, and the same criminals then back out taking somebody else's life. I don't know. Something is wrong, but something has to be done. Good night, New York. I thank you. It's always a pleasure. This is Avril saying, God love you, and so do I. Love each other. Love each other. Take care of each other. Strengthen your brother. Strengthen your sisters. This is the people that make it possible for me, and I'll definitely end my show this way.
I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. But that you feel the way I'm feeling, I want you like you want me tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. Look here, you're so sweet, you're so tight, I won't bite. I love you right.
Good night, wherever you are. Thank you for watching The Avril Show.